All right, guys, with Austin Total Weapons Guild here with Andreas once again at our new home in Vigilante. Today, of course, we're picking up more of the Jude Lew book from where we left off last time. Today, we are starting on page 173, which is getting into Durchlaufen. So, Durchlaufen, running through. Let the pommel hang if you want to wrestle. If someone stands strongly against you, take care to do a Durchlaufen. Item, running through and wrestling so we carried out against those masters who like to run in. Do it as follows. If he displaces and goes high up with his arms while running in order to press you above with strength, then also go up with your arms. Hold your sword over your head with your left hand on the pommel, with the blade hanging downward behind over your back. Run with the head through the arms towards his right side, and spring with your right foot behind his right foot. While springing, go with your right arm to his left side, well around the body, and grab him thus onto your right hip. Throw him down before you onto his head. All right. So first running through, fairly simple, fairly straightforward. A couple things I want to address because I'm going to assume all these Durchlaufen examples are going to kind of set up the same way. And the impetus is on my opponent running in, right? So if we meet in a bind and we're neutral, I don't want to be the one kind of driving up and rushing through. I'm waiting on him to charge in against me, and this is how I deal with that. And that's not to say that I can't kind of do those things, but this kind of gets back in this idea of timing, where if my tempo, my energy is spent rushing in, I don't get to act before he gets to do something to try to counter it. So this is really kind of sitting back, feeling that he's running and using that clash of swords, that indes moment to react to him charging in. So what that really looks like is after this cut, as he charges in, he goes high to try to get this. Notice I'm starting to break, my back has come back, my sword is down. I need to counter this by going high myself, which sets us up for this kind of Durchlaufen drill. So notice I should take my left hand, grabbing the pommel, letting the sword hang low across my back. Obviously, he's going to be probably pushing that there. I'm not going to go here by myself. So I'm going here. And as this happens, I'm stepping through here. From here, I need to get my right foot behind his right foot. Awkward from this scenario. So I'm kind of stepping to this position, grabbing him around his left, putting him on my hip, and down he goes. So there's a lot of kind of incidentals that kind of tie into this. And this version, this play works out much easier if his feet are reversed. So I'm going to try to trick Andreas or ask him nicely for the drill to try to end with that right foot forward as he presses in, whether that makes you take two smaller steps or I meet him a little bit sooner. Like getting this to work out in drill definitely relies on some sort of compliance between drilling partners, because there's so many of these Durchlaufen examples that I assume we'll deal with on, okay, so if his right foot's back, do it this way. If his right foot's forwards, do it this way. And just working off the little example from the book, much, much easier if he winds up right foot forward so I can set up this throw. So once more, we meet in the bind. He charges in. He gets that right foot forward. Now the spring, right? So I get the right hand here, shoulder him back, stepping behind. All this makes much, much more sense. I can now wrap him easily, get him on my hip, and I just kind of politely flip him over.
The other way around.
Yeah, and just showing from the other side, just to make things confusing. Again, here, he steps in, he gets that right foot forward. I've met him high in the bind. Left hand of the pommel, sword drops. I spring my right foot behind him. I grab, get him up on that hip, and nice, easily tossed over. Key notes, safety notes, warning notes. If you're trying along, wrestling is the weapon, right? We don't have, like, we have blended steel items. Yes, they're scary. Yes, they're dangerous. This isn't the weapon. This is a safe version of the weapon, right? I can't accidentally cut him. I can't accidentally stab him with these, barring failure of the weapon as a training tool. Wrestling, though, is how you seriously injure maim people. So if you're going to practice wrestling, get a padded floor, do it slow, make sure you know what you're doing. Yeah, don't wrestle without training, because that's how bad things start to happen. So moving on. Item, another wrestling. When he runs into you with erect arms and you're doing the same setup, Run through your head towards his right side. Saying, step forward with your right foot before his right foot. So now it's in front. Before his right one, and go through with your right arm under his right arm and through around his body. Lower yourself a little bit, load him onto your right hip, and throw him behind you. Do these two techniques from both sides. Throw him before you on this head. So yeah, so this one is coming forward. All right, so this one, because I want my foot in front of his foot, is going to work much easier if he's winding up left foot forward now. And then we'll kind of figure out what happens from there. So we kind of need to bind. Right, so we're there, we're up. I want this here. I'm putting this through your right arm. Under. Hold that pose. Just like the kiss. All right. With your right arm under his right arm and behind around his body. Lower yourself a little bit, load him onto your right hip and throw him behind you. Okay. So we are up. I'm through. No, I think under, because I'm just kind of wrapping this way. I wrap him around, and then as I lower, now I can just kind of wrench him forward that same way. So once again, we cut. Yeah, we're up. Oh, yeah. One of us is bring forward closer. We get here. I wrap around. I get him on that front hip, and I kind of just drop that through and letting him run backwards. If you do start playing with these, you need to learn them in this kind of broken pattern, right? We need to sit here, be super compliant, be super reasonable, so we can feel the position, feel the power generated, feel the leverage generated, so you can then kind of take this application. It's not going to feel the greatest, right? If he's super compliant, it'll be fine, but we'll both kind of know, like, okay, this only works because Andreas is letting me move him. That's because we're losing momentum, right? If we run in even closer to half speed and not being this kind of stop motion drill we're doing right now. So he cuts in, we're here, all of a sudden, his momentum is still driving forwards. I'm able to sneak this foot in. Realistically, he's probably trying to pass through with that right foot that I've kind of blocked with my own hip. So all his energy is driving forward and makes this one in particular much, much more effective as you kind of flip them over your hip into the ground. Other side real quick, just for completeness. So we cut. We're here. I come up and through, and over. All right, moving on. Dirk Laufen. Oh, I did mention do these the same from both sides. We're not going to demonstrate cutting from the left to bind to the left and flip over the other sides and things like that, just because there's so much more to this than seeing us flounder with our left sides is not worth anyone's time. So, Dirk Laufen 3, yet another wrestling. When he is running into your right side, so we're flipping the script. So when he is running into your right side and he is up with his arms, just like you, hold your sword in your right hand, and with the sword, push his arm from you and spring with your left foot in front of his right one. Go behind around his body with your left arm and lower yourself a bit. Load him onto your left hip and throw him on his face in front of you. All right.
Okay.
So when he's running into your right side, both arms up, push this, and hold your sword in your right hand and push this, with the sword, push his arm away from you. That's interesting by itself. So this may or may not be kind of the counter. I don't know. So we'll kind of take it slowly. Yeah, let's see where we're passing anyway. So we cut. We're both up. Run at the right. Use your sword. Push your sword away from you. Here. Oh. Is that the left? I'm stepping here.
Whoa.
Right? Does that match? It feels amazing from my side.
Yeah.
All right. Hold your sword with your right hand, and with the sword, push his arm away from you. Spring with the left foot in front of his right one. Check. Go behind with his body with your left arm. Lower yourself a little bit. Load him on your left hip, and throw him on his face. Yeah.
I think that was it.
I haven't done this one before. So we're here. We're up.
Yeah. I think with
Yeah, any sort of momentum and
the
yeah, even me trying to catch you was hard to not let you fall over. Yeah,
yep.
fun, super fun.
Oop. Well, yep. And I think even if you don't throw me, it always feels that would be a really awkward druid step.
Yeah.
Not
Well, because I'm getting that hip in front of yours as the motion happens. All right, item, another wrestling. When he runs into you with his arms high up, just as you, then you shall hold your sword in your right hand, push his arm from you, and spring with your left foot behind his right one. Girth with your left arm before his chest into his left side, load him onto your left hip, and throw him behind you. So we're doing these both mirrored, right? One I run past you, one I cut in front of you. Is the trend.
What is my attack?
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Spring with your left foot behind his right one. Go through below with your left arm before his chest. I don't know how I'm getting there. We'll find out.
This means right foot back again.
No, I want right foot forward. Because the last time I was your right foot was back. I could cut in front of it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. And
Oh,
I just
Jesus,
pushed through.
That's horrible. Mm-hmm.
All right. So again, here, up, drive that away, and now it's just this. All right, switch sides. I just get that.
Yep.
So, all right. So, kind of takeaways so far. Because obviously these four throws that we've talked about, presumably mirrorable on both sides, are kind of playing off of the same setup, and I'm either going to step through with my right or step through with my left. So now it's giving me options of which foot of mine is going to move. Because the first ones, right, it assumed I was here and my right foot was moving, either getting behind or in front and controlling you from there, right? If I'm in front, I'm doing this hand to sweep. If I'm behind, this hand to flip. If I'm about to step with my left foot and I wind up in this position, now I need to make sure this is coming across. And if we're in front of you, I go this way. If your feet are backwards and behind this foot, I'm coming this way. So basically, we're just taking this crossing here and taking away all the guesswork of, well, which of my feet is forward, which of his feet is forward. If my right foot is forward, I'm trying to go down this line, right? I'm either going to block this leg or get behind that leg. If my feet are backwards, my right foot is forward, I'm stepping across in front of you, right? If you've gotten closer to me because your feet are switched, I want it behind for this throw. Otherwise, I'm in front for the opposite throw. But this is just looking at all these permutations of we're both high, we're both arms up, he's charging in. Which of my feet is forward, which is his feet is forward. I act based on my feet, I react based on his feet. And that gives us those 4 or 8, if you look at it from the left side, permutations of the Dirkwelfen. All right. Moving on, even more Dirkwelfen. Do these 2 wrestlings from both sides. Oh, so that's following up those last 2, right? Do these 2 wrestlings from both sides. So like we were just talking about, that gives us 8 options now of how to run in, how to charge through. If someone's charging it, if you cut from the left, cut from the right. Either foot is forward. Pretty straightforward, hopefully. So note, when he runs in with the sword while holding his arms low so that you can't run through, do the following wrestling techniques. And then we're holding the sword low is like just charging through from the bind and kind of just pressing in, looking for that pommel strike. Instead of rising up high, than someone just trying to bowl you over from the front. All right. When he runs into the sword, holding his hands low, twist your left hand and grab his right one inside between his both hands. Jerk toward your left side with the right hand. Hit him over the head with the sword. Grab your right. Jerk towards my left with my right. Okay. Twist your left hand and grab his right one inside between his hands.
But if I run in with my blade,
And we're bound.
oh,
So so assuming a bind, and you're just charging through. So I'm going to twist. I'm going to grab here.
right between.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There you are.
Apparently. So here, so I twist this off. I'm going to grab. Just grab between your hands. Is kind of why I want to do this,
My right one,
which
which
is
is this. Yeah.
not a great grip. It's a difficult grip to get. But if I have it, I don't even need this
Maybe
sword
it's
anymore.
maybe I'm pressing it wrong.
I mean, it's just pressing in. Like, this is such a terrible grip.
Yeah. Between my hands with your.
Yeah, I'm grabbing your left, grabbing your right with my left between your hands. So back up. Give me space.
Oh.
Let me work this through better. Right. So we're here. So I'm not between your hands. So we're not assuming it's this overhand grip. It does say twist. If it's this,
Oh.
I don't really get to hit you over the head. But that definitely
Feels better. Yeah.
it says twist my left hand, whatever that means. Right. So again, so we're here.
Push, push, push.
I'm kind of almost going backwards where I can't really do this because this feels ridiculous. All right, so if I twist my left hand, hyperliteral, I twist my left hand. Right, stay square, now I'm here. Grab this,
I would definitely.
bring this to the side, but I'm stuck. Floundering per usual. All right, so once more. When he runs in with the sword, holding his hands low, twist your left hand and grab his right one inside between his both hands. Jerk towards your left side, and with the right hand, hit him over the head with the sword. I wonder if it's just that first thing we did.
Yeah. It doesn't say pummel. I think you coming up the first time we did it.
Yeah,
Had a good hit.
but it's just that it's a super awkward here, right? I have this. I just jerk this there, and I can strike. Or if I don't want to hit you with the sword, maybe this will give us a better cue for that kind of follow-up motion. Or else, if you don't want to hit him, spring with your right foot behind his left one. Go with your right arm around his neck, either from the front or the back. Thus, you throw him over your right knee. Well, I can give you mobility to do those options, right? So if we're here, set up this over that, or from the back. I can just drop. Oh God! Even though it feels like the sword's going to hit you,
Yeah.
I'm really just grabbing the shoulder and drenching it back.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you feel?
The first.
Like that motion just is really. It's probably just something to drill, right? Here, getting this super secure. Because if I get this, I don't need to grab anymore, and that's the benefit of this grip, right? Is I'm just coming here. Yes, I'm attacking your hand, but I can just go up here and pull on this and hook. I no longer need to grip. So even with lobsters, right? If I can get over your coat, and I'm just really using the back of my wrist on your sword, right, to pull you through. If I get the hand and lever off, even better. And now I'm making a nice fulcrum. Right, I'm making that fulcrum here with this. And any Fiorist will recognize this triangle from the dagger that Fiore talks about. Dagger Master 1, Are you familiar? So real quick, as an aside, we have a nice black, impossible to see dagger here. If he makes an attack, I want to make a triangle here with forearm, dagger, forearm. And this is how I take his weapon away. Or just make him very uncomfortable, right? And it's that very similar motion. I'm here, and I just make that press and not doing any work. So with longsword, we're kind of creating a very, very similar mechanical leverage here. So we're coming in, I'm stepping out, and as I make him rotate, we've got a very similar triangle of weapon from the ice pick position even, forehand, or forearm and forearm. So I feel like that's a really solid option. It's definitely not the smoothest and easiest thing to just pull out of nowhere, but that's where training comes in, and that motion just gets smoother the more you practice it. Item, yet another wrestling. We haven't had enough Durklaufen yet. All right. When he runs in with his sword holding his arms low, let go of the sword with your left hand and use your right hand to go with the pommel over his right hand on the outside. Press down and grab his right elbow with your left hand. Spring with your left foot in front of his right one. Push him over it. All right, so a pommel wrap is pretty straightforward. Press down and grab his right elbow with your left hand. Spring left foot in front of his right. Push him over it. All right, so you make sure your right foot is back while we're doing this, just for the sake of less complexity. So you're coming in, you step and drive through.
That's low.
I mean normal. They just mean not high. Right, so I'm going to come, deflect, wrap, and I grab. I'm super unconvinced. All right. Let go of your left sword with your left hand. Use your right hand to go with the pommel over his right hand on the outside. We did that. Press down. Press down with the sword maybe. And grab his right elbow with your left hand. Oh, I should be pulling up the left elbow. String with your left foot in front of his right one. Push him over it. Okay. I was pushing down with the left hand with the elbow instead of the sword. All right. So I've got this one now. We're here. We're here. We're there.
Nice.
Super unpleasant.
Very unpleasant.
So it's wrap, let go, over your hand. I'm pushing down the hand, springing through here. I'm grabbing this elbow and just throwing you over my leg.
I think other way to show it.
Yeah. Again, comes in, I let go, I hook and I drag this whole concoction down. As I do, I grab this elbow, step around,
Wow.
and throw through.
That one's nice.
Yeah, so nice arm lock. Again, super easy to injure your partner. Be very slow and polite with this. With momentum, or if I just turn and throw, he's going that way onto his face because he can't move that leg anymore.
And I have the urge to let go of my sword.
So we are crushing the hand down from there.
Nice.
All right, let's see what else we can get out of this. 2 more. Hope you're ready for this.
Yeah.
Item, another wrestling. When he's running in with the sword, doesn't say high or low, twist your left hand. Again, that twist, which doesn't give us anything. So I'm really thinking twist means invert at this point, because that's been the cue before. We're not going this because this breaks our structure. So I'm looking at twist now after the previous demonstration of being that inverted grip, thumb down. Twist your left hand and go with it over his right arm. Grab his sword between his hands at the handle. Jerk it toward your left side. Thus, you take his sword away from him. So you're just rushing in. Doesn't say high or low. I'm curious how much it matters. So here, this is not an exciting place to be. But if I just...
All right, let's try again. It reminds me of a theory play that has to do with grabbing
Yeah,
the handle.
but you usually don't grab the above.
But
Fiore.
All right. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like, I don't like this very much.
Yeah.
Let me get. All right. Grab a sword between his hands at the handle and jerk it toward your left side. Twist your left hand and go over it, and with it go with it over his right arm. Maybe I need to turn more. Maybe to like drive myself more. Let's see if you rise up. If this feels any better, it'll be really hard to go over your arm if you're up, but it doesn't give us height. This feels better. I really think I just need to turn.
Oh.
I feel if I go with it,
Mm-hmm.
right? That verbiage is very specifically linguistically weird, right? Twist your left hand and go with it over his right arm. Before just twist your left hand and grab his right one, right? So that's a very different phrasing. So I feel like there's definitely an implied motion here of I twist and I go with it to grab.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're in the side-by-side position, and then, hold on, right? Then I'm just going to pull this to my left side.
Oh. Yeah.
Right? Because it cues up my hips better to kind of lawnmower pull this. And I feel like if I have a solid grip on your weapon, it's going to give me a better chance of ripping it out. So here, twist, go, pull it back.
Yeah, that is very hard to hold on to. So
All right, so we'll switch sides. So again.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, that's a
like
nice lock.
A hand lock I'm doing myself.
So one thing I find myself not doing, I want to try again, is I'm not twisting anymore. I want to see if that plays into anything better or worse. So here, maybe it's just getting my thumb in there, because if I don't twist, I'm going to miss. Right? But if I twist, it drives the thumb in, and I wind up in a normal grip. Right? But now, try to take your sword back. I'm just curious.
Like,
yeah.
Well,
yeah, no, I'm just curious. Because for me, this is a really strong position, right? And if I just pull this away.
Yeah, it's you use your body, I have mine.
Yeah, you're stuck. So yeah, I think then that even though I'm not gripping as inverted as I would like, that grip helps me drive my thumb between your hands and start to take your weapon away. Where if I don't twist, I'm just kind of trying to wrap and circle. So, all right, I'm happy with that then. All right, item, another wrestling. When he is running in with his sword, drop your sword and twist your right hand. Grasp his right hand on the outside and grab his right elbow with your left hand. Am I dropping my whole sword? Oh, drop your sword. Yeah. And twist your right hand. Grasp his right hand on the outside and grasp his right elbow with your left hand. Spring your left foot in front of his right, in brackets, foot, and with your right hand, push his right. Let's see, that comes from Lacuna completed according to HS and JMD. So I'm going to listen to the original. Spring with your left foot in front of his right, arm over your left one and lift it up. Thus he is locked, and you can break his arm or throw him over the left leg in front of you. So I drop my sword, grab your right hand on the outside, Huh. It seems super brave. All right, so I'm here. You're charging in. I go no sword. So out of respect for not our space. So we're here. I drop and I invert and I grab and I grab and I come through. That's not quite right. I grasp his right hand on the outside and grab his right elbow with your left hand. Spring your left foot in front of his right foot, and with your right hand, push his right arm over your left one and lift it up. Right arm. Left foot in front of your right foot. With your right hand, push his right arm over my left one and lift it up.
Is it talking about something like this?
I think it's even more straight arm.
All right.
So we cut.
Saber.
Charge. So I drop my sword, invert this to grab here. I grab here, and it says lift.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Right, because that is a nice lock here, or I can just flip you over this way if I don't want to break that elbow.
Ooh, nice.
But there's an easier way to get there. So again, we cut. I kind of drop with a throw because I want that away from me as you're charging in. You're not really looking to cut anymore. As long as I deflect a little bit, I feel safe doing this. So I drop, kind of twist again. I'm looking for that inverted grab here, grabbing this, and I just lift this up. And if I be less polite, I pull my right hand down. Let's see if that matches text before you flip side. So grasp your right hand on the outside, his right elbow with your left hand. Swing with your left foot in front of his right foot. Your right hand push his right arm over your left one and lift it up. Yeah. So again, switching sides, imaginary sword. I press, I twist, I invert and grab there. I step through, I grab this. I've got a lot I can do from here. My instinct really wants to get your hand back on. Is I like this a little bit better. It's not like this is an arm break, right? There's no apology. I just come up, destroy this elbow. Like if I use one hand, there's no easy way to not, because even if I pick this up, right? Because he says get it onto your left arm, but I've grabbed that elbow. Unless I kind of under wrap the elbow. I don't really have a lot of things to do. This one feels better but I don't have as much of an arm lock. So I really feel it's this. And I really, pull it here. I make sure it locks under a vertical forearm, right? Because this is unpleasant, but if I can get that here, you're just gonna break that.
Yeah.
And then I can either wrench that through, turn over into a throw, depending on how polite you're letting me be. Yeah, that puts us over the 30-minute mark. So we're gonna wrap up there as a very in-depth look at Dirklaufen and way more variations than I've at least played with. So I thought it was fun and interesting. As always, folks, if there are questions, comments, feedback, anything like that, definitely reach out, let us know. You can comment below on YouTube, you can email us, reach out on Facebook, anything like that. Otherwise, hope everyone has a good night. I'll be back on Monday with more of the mixed weapon work I've been working on and more Fabris on Friday. Thanks.